About nation rebuilding, or indigenous nation rebuilding renaissance, as the topic says up there, and also the keys to success. And I've been doing this work for going on over 25 years. I was years ago part of the Royal Commission on Aboriginal People, and which brought me up to Ottawa, Montreal, and a lot of other places. And when the Royal Commission was put together, it really presented a lot of challenges for all of us as Aboriginal people. And as the years went on, my travels have taken me all over the world, basically looking at why is it that some indigenous nations do well economically and then others do not do so well. So that's the very basic question that we've been wrestling with all these years. And we think we've come up with some answers in all the travels that we go through. And you take a look at current events today, there's an unbelievable renaissance happening. There's an unbelievable change occurring. This is what I'm seeing in Indigenous country. I'm seeing this change for the positive. I'm seeing Indigenous nation building nations that work. I'm seeing Indigenous nations becoming empowered. I'm seeing language retention rate going up. I'm seeing social pathologies decreasing, alcoholism rate going down, suicide rate going down, domestic violence going down. And it's just it's a wonderful time to be Indigenous. And part of the reason why is because we're being empowered to make those changes ourselves. And when we're in control, when we're the ones that are making decisions, magical things happen. Wonderful things occur. And this is what I see from Australia to New Zealand, all across Canada, even in Mexico, in certain parts of Mexico, in South America, South Africa, where I was at for the World Sustainable Development Conference years ago. And I was also in Poland shortly after the Iron Curtain fell down. And I saw how Poland was wrestling with, what do we do now that we don't have to report to Moscow, the colonizers? So the question I'm posing to you is, what are you going to do when you no longer have to report to Ottawa? How are you going to run your nation? What are you going to do? And so some of the work that we've been doing really is around answering that very question. What do you do if all of a sudden the responsibilities of your nation fell into your lap and you have to reconstruct your nation? Where do you start? What do you do? How do you go about running a nation that works? Right now, under the Indian Act, somebody else tells you what to do. They send you some money. They tell you how to spend that money. You spend the money how they want you to do it. You send a report back to them. That's not self-governance. That's self-administration. But there's going to come a time here very shortly when you're going to be asked to run the show. You're going to be the ones generating your own funds. You're going to be the ones deciding for this. So what do you do? So my task today is just basically to show you what's going on in Indigenous country. What have I seen? And how can those lessons that I've seen help you? Just to get you to begin to think about what to do, how other people have done it, and how you might want to do it. So this is my task, is to provide to you the keys to success and what we've seen. I've been telling you about this change that we've been seeing. There's a movement from self-determination to nation rebuilding. One of the faith keepers at Onondaga of Six Nations, Oren Lyons, he says, well, we're not in nation building, we're nation rebuilding. So how do you rebuild your nations? And so this is a new era. This is it's unbelievable what I'm seeing all across Canada, the United States, and elsewhere. how Indigenous peoples are empowering themselves and how they're redoing things.